Hey guys, this is a 2005 Gibson Custom Authentic Les Paul Jimmy Page signature. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is take a quick look at it, go over the features and specifications of this model.
Alright guys, let's check out this truly remarkable guitar. So as you can see, it does have the Gibson custom original hardshell case. The only real scuffing is here. There are some light scratches elsewhere, but overall it's in pretty good condition for, you know, a 15-year-old guitar. Some light scratching on the bottom, but not too bad. No broken locks or latches. Everything works as it should. I'm pretty happy with the condition of the case. Alright, and it's got that deep maroon velvet interior. It's very beautiful. Alright, so let's talk about the Jimmy Page #1 for a minute. So Jimmy Page got his #1 from a guitar player named Joe Walsh from the James Gang Band, or more famously, he would later play for the Eagles. Joe Walsh had gotten this Les Paul. It had had some work done to it. Specifically, the neck had been profiled down, and the signature was sanded off. And Joe Walsh said he sold it to Jimmy Page for $1,200, which part of it included the travel costs because Joe hand delivered it to Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page would go on to replace the Gibson style tuners with Grover tuners, like you see on this newer model, and remove the humbucker cover. I had always thought that the humbucker was some aftermarket hot-rodded humbucker, but turns out he just removed the cover. And it's the stock 59 humbucker. So in the early 2000s, when Gibson decided to recreate the Jimmy Page #1, Edwin Wilson met with Jimmy Page at his mansion in England, and was given about 45 minutes to go over Jimmy Page's #1. That was basically long enough to take a mold of the neck, measure the pickups output, and take a look at the control cavity, as well as take some pictures. In 2004, Edwin Wilson took 30 Tom Murphy aged Les Pauls to Jimmy Page to inspect. Page was happy with all of them, and he didn't reject any of the Les Pauls. 26 of them were used for the signature line, with the #1 going to Jimmy Page as compensation for being part of the program. Those first 25 signature Les Pauls would retail for $23,699. There were also 150 additional Tom Murphy authentic aged Les Pauls created. Those retailed for $16,566. And then finally, there were 870 unlimited guitars made, which is what this model is. They retailed for $9,456. They were available from 2004 until 2007. This guitar has a weight of 8 pounds 14 ounces. As you can see, it's got the signature Page burst finish, which I thought was interesting. I'd always assumed that this was just a cherry burst. When I think of Les Pauls, I kind of think of Jimmy Page's Les Paul. And so I thought this was just a standard color, but in fact they had to recreate it for this line. The neck has the custom Jimmy Page profiling you found on his original guitar, where it's actually thinner in the midsection. It's been updated with Grover tuners, and I thought it was interesting that they've gone as far as recreating the marring that would be left behind from a Gibson tuner, just like Jimmy Page's #1 actually. This guitar has custom Jimmy Page burst buckers modeled after his 1959 original pickups. These ones are going to match the same output as the ones in his actual guitar. Both volume knobs have pull pots, and what this does is split the humbuckers into a single coil. And I haven't heard anyone mention this, but to me it kind of makes sense considering Jimmy Page started Led Zeppelin on a Telecaster. For live shows, it seems like it would make sense that he would want to be able to switch these into single coil mode and kind of recreate that Telecaster sound in the live setting, so he doesn't have to switch guitars on stage. This tone knob is also a pull pot, and it switches the pickups from parallel to series mode. And it kind of throws, when it's engaged, it throws them into an out of phased sound, and I'll demonstrate it a little bit later. This guitar is considered a VOS Custom Authentic. VOS stands for Vintage Original Spec. So you're gonna see some things like aged hardware. There's some checking to the finish. Let's see if I can get that in. You can see it here. You can see some aging to the rhythm treble pickup selector, just to the text around it. All of the metals are either worn, I'm not sure if they were supposed to be gold, but these tuners are definitely worn from a gold to nearly silver. And something that's specific to this guitar is I did notice there was some damage. I didn't notice before I purchased it because of the relicking that has been done to this guitar, but there's some light marring on the headstock, most likely due to sitting on a guitar hanger. Sometimes these Les Pauls finish has adverse reaction to the plastics of a guitar hanger. Any Les Paul owner should be aware of this, or Gibson owner should be aware of this. Okay, so let's take a look at the electronics really quickly. I forgot to mention, this does have Schaller style tuners. They're aged gold. Anyways, back to electronics. This is the pickup selector. It's pretty standard. And then here's electronics cavity for the volume and tone pots. So you can see this one is just the standard non-pull pot, and then these three, this is the tone pull pot, these two are volume. Some pretty large capacitors. And that's electronics. Let's go and listen to some tones. Let's hear how all of these combinations of tones sound on this guitar.
Alright, let's do some sounds. Okay guys, so first we'll be hearing the bridge pickup. I'm going to play it through a dirty style amp through Logic, and I'm using an IK Multimedia amp modeler. Alright, next we'll hear the same pickup. I'm going to split the coil by pulling out the pot, and again, same dirty style amp. Alright, now let's switch the amp to clean. We'll hear the bridge pickup in humbucker mode. Okay, so let's pop out the volume pot and hear the bridge pickup one more time in the single coil mode. Alright, now let's switch up to the neck. Let's hear the neck dirty with the split coil. Let's hear the neck clean. Alright, now let's hear that same thing clean. Alright, let's hear both pickups dirty. Same thing, but clean. Alright, now let's hear middle selection with both pickups split. Alright, let's hear the same thing clean. Alright, now this is where it gets funny. We're going to switch from parallel to series by pulling the tone, and I'll switch the volumes back to their original humbucking position. Alright, now they're both split. Pickups are both split. Tone is pulled, so it's in series. It's pretty interesting sounding. Alright, let's hear this setting clean. couple other things I want to go over is how comfortable this guitar feels when you're playing it. The neck feels super slim. I've never honestly played like a 59 Les Paul, but whatever was done to Jimmy Page's actual guitar feels really good. I can tell there is the extra slimness in the middle. Also, the balance feels really good. It's not neck heavy or anything like that. So overall, this guitar plays and feels really nice. Alright, so that's my video for my Gibson Custom Authentic Jimmy Page Les Paul #1 recreation guitar, signature model. If you want to find out more about it, I do post more information about all of my videos on my blog at doyoulikegear.com. Thanks for watching. Bye now.